The Life and Sad Ending of Jonathan Winters. Jonathan Harshman Winters III was born November 11, 1925 in Bellbrook, Ohio, to Alice Kilgore Rogers, a radio personality, and Jonathan Harshman Winters II, an insurance agent who later became an investment broker. He was a descendant of Valentine Winters, founder of the Winters National Bank in Dayton, Ohio, now part of J.P. Morgan Chase. Of English and Scotch-Irish ancestry, Winters had described his father as an alcoholic who had trouble holding a job. When he was 7, his parents separated. Winters' mother took him to Springfield, Ohio, to live with his maternal grandmother. Alone in his room, he created characters and interviewed himself. A poor student, Winters continued talking to himself and developed a repertoire of strange sound effects. He often entertained his high school friends by imitating a race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. During his senior year at Springfield High School, Winters quit school to join the U.S. Marine Corps at the age of 17 and served 2.5 years in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Upon his return, he studied at Kenyon College. He later studied cartooning at Dayton Art Institute, where he met Eileen Schauder, whom he married on September 11, 1948. Winters' career started as a result of a lost wristwatch about 6 or 7 months after his marriage to Eileen in 1948. The newlyweds couldn't afford to buy another one. Then Eileen read about a talent contest in which the first prize was a wristwatch and encouraged Jonathan to go down and win it. She was certain he could, and he did. His performance led to a disc jockey job, where he was supposed to introduce songs and announce the temperature. Gradually, his ad-libs, personae, and antics took over the show. He began comedy routines and acting while studying at Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio. He was also a local radio personality on WING, mornings 6 to 8, in Dayton, Ohio, and at Wise in Springfield, Ohio. He performed as Johnny Winters on WBNS-TV in Columbus, Ohio for 2.5 years. Jerome R. Ted Reeves, then program director for WBNS-TV, arranged for his first audition with CBS in New York City. After promising his wife that he would return to Dayton if he did not make it in a year, and with $56.46 in his pocket, he moved to New York City, staying with friends in Greenwich Village. After obtaining Martin Goodman as his agent, he began stand-up routines in various New York nightclubs. His earliest network television appearance was in 1954 on Chance of a Lifetime, hosted by Dennis James on the Dumont Television Network, where Winters again appeared as Johnny Winters. Winters made television history in 1956, when RCA broadcast the first public demonstration of color videotape on The Jonathan Winters Show. His big break occurred with revised name of Jonathan when he worked for Alastair Cook on the CBS television Sunday morning show Omnibus. In 1957, he performed in the first color television show, a 15-minute routine sponsored by Tums. From 1959 to 1964, Winters' voice could be heard in a series of popular television commercials for Utica Club Beer. In the ads, he provided the voices of talking beer steins named Schultz and Dooley. Winters recorded many classic comedy albums for the Verve Records label starting in 1960. Probably the best known of his characters from this period is Maud Frickert, the seemingly sweet old lady with the barbed tongue. He was a favorite of Jack Paar, who hosted The Tonight Show from 1957 to 1962 and appeared frequently on his television programs, even going so far as to impersonate then U.S. President John F. Kennedy over the telephone as a prank on Paar. On The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, 1962 to 1992, Winters usually performed in the guise of some character. Carson often did not know that Winters had planned and usually had to tease out the character's backstory during a comedic interview. Next, Winters appeared in more than 50 movies and many television shows, including particularly notable roles in the film It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, won him a Golden Globe nomination, and in the dual roles of Henry Glenworthy and his dark, scheming brother, the Reverend Wilbur Glenworthy in the film adaptation of Evelyn Waugh's novel, The Loved One. From 1967 December until June of 1969, Winters helmed his own hour-long weekly variety program on CBS, The Jonathan Winters Show, and featured guest stars of comedy and music. Winters made memorable appearances on both The Dean Martin Show and The Dean Martin Celebrity Roast, as well as a regular on The Andy Williams Show. He also performed regularly as a panelist on The Hollywood Squares. In the mid-70s, he appeared on ABC's Good Morning America doing humorous reviews of films. During the late 1960s, Winters acted in several film comedies, most prominently The Russians Are Coming from 1966, and Viva Max, 1969. He also had his own syndicated show called The Wacky World of Jonathan Winters from 1972 to 1974, the music director of which, Van Alexander, was nominated for a 1973 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Music Direction of a Variety, Musical, or Dramatic Program. Then, Jonathan Winters was a guest star on The Muppet Show in 1980. That same year, he also appeared in I Go Pogo, a.k.a. Pogo for President. In 1981, he was a guest on the short-lived comedy series Aloha Paradise. Winters became a regular on Hee Haw during the 1983-84 season. He was later the voice of Grandpa Smurf from 1986 to 1990 on the television series The Smurfs. Additionally, he did the voice of Bigelow in the 1985 TV film Pound Puppies and voice acted on Yogi's Treasure Hunt in 1985, among other voice roles throughout the 80s and 90s. In 1991 and 92, he had a supporting role on Davis Rules, a sitcom that lasted 2 seasons, 25 episodes, for which he won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. He played Gunny Davis, an eccentric grandfather who was helping to raise his grandchildren after his son lost his wife. Winters received 11 Grammy nominations during his career, including 8 for the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album. He won the Grammy Award for Best Spoken Comedy Album for Crank Calls in 1996. In 1996, Winters played himself in Bloopy's Buddies, a children's TV series on PBS designed to teach children about health and nutrition and to encourage them to exercise. In 1999, he was awarded the Kennedy Center's Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, becoming the second recipient. Winters had various roles and appeared in numerous television features throughout the early to mid-2000s. In 2000, Winters appeared in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. In 2003, he appeared in the film Swing. In 2004, Comedy Central Presents 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Time ranked Winters as number 18 greatest stand-up comedian. Winters was coaxed out of retirement to voice Papa Smurf in The Smurfs from 2011, the first ever animated live-action Smurfs film, and later in The Smurfs 2, 2013, his final film project. Back on February 8, 1960s, Winters received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1973, he received the Golden Plate Award of the American Academy of Achievement. On January 11, 2009, Winters' wife of more than 60 years, Eileen, died at the age of 84 after a 20-year battle with breast cancer. Sadly, Winters died of natural causes on the evening of April 11, 2013, in Montecito, California, at the age of 87. He was survived by his 2 children, Jonathan Winters IV and Lucinda Winters, and 5 grandchildren. He was cremated and his ashes were given to his family.